Gooch.
Hi, this is my new clean white cover.
I love it.
This is how I be during my interviews and when she's in a room with me. I be laughing.
She just be squeaking away.
Yeah.
Say hello. You big baby. Say hello to the world. Alright, we can go back to sleep.
Okay. So why we decided to get a dog, right?
Yes.
So I think we always wanted a dog. When we got married, that was something that we wanted to do. We wanted to have a puppy so the kids would have someone or something that they can grow up with and play with. So it was always in the plan to get a dog.
What type of dog was the question?
Yeah, I initially wanted a small, cute dog that you can put in your purse and be cute, you know. And
I grew up with a shepherd, so I knew I wanted a big dog.
Girl.
Mm-hmm.
You messed up.
So,
And I was the one who did not want to deal with hair and everything, because I remember him telling me how much they shed and how after she passed they were still finding 7 years later hair in the vents and crap, and I was just like, oh no, that's not something that I want to deal with. And I mean, to be honest, we have 2 boys, you know, so our house doesn't stay the cleanest all the time. So having to deal with a dog that shed on top of the mess that the boys make and we make, I did not want to do. And so our house got broken into.
yeah, right after we bought it.
Right after we bought it.
They stole a few things, but I think more so than what they took was just the privacy aspect, the feeling violated in a sense.
Yeah, I struggled after it. Brian had a break-in before. I never experienced anything like that before. And so when it happened, I struggled feeling safe and secure in my home. I grew up in this area and never really felt unsafe in my own city until my house got broken into. Because my concern is, you know, when he's not home and it's just me and the boys or me by myself, I needed to feel like I had an extra layer of protection, you know, whenever he wasn't around.
So we saw the breed for the first time together in 2015.
Yeah, we're on a road trip, coming back from somewhere.
Yeah.
And we stopped at a gas station, and this lady, they were traveling, her and her husband, and she was walking, taking her 2 dogs out, and they happened to be 2 Cane Corsos.
We're actually known as Cane Corso, but we're said to be Cane Corso, but known as Cane Corso.
Yeah, American people call it Cane Corso, and that's what it is. And they were beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dogs. Big dogs. Scary looking, scary enough to look intimidating, but just gorgeous dogs.
Yeah.
And they were well mannered.
Yeah.
And so we went over and we were talking to her about the breed and, you know, asking her, you know, how she felt they would do with kids and what type of temperament they had and things like that. And that's when we first saw the Cane Corso and kind of fell in love with that breed and wanted to do more research to figure out if that was something that we wanted to invest our money in.
Yeah. And she spoke really highly of the dog, like being super intelligent, super loving, being dedicated, devoted to, you know, serving.
Very protective, but still and still really good with children. So that was my concern. If we're gonna get a big dog, I I need somebody that's going to be protective of the kids, but also know that they're kids and know how to play and interact with our children.
Which she does.
Yeah, and she has, she spoke very highly of the breed, and that's when we started to do research on Cane Corsos. Yeah. So our house got broken into in 2017. We were doing research a little, but it wasn't until 2020. So in 2020, Brian started doing more research about a dog. We were quarantining at this time, and we were like, this would be a perfect time if we're gonna get a puppy of any kind. It would be the perfect time to do so because we're home constantly and we'll have enough time to train and, you know, whatever we need to do. So by the time we have to go,
you can invest that time in without being at work.
Right.
After the day.
And then so by the time it's time for us to go to work full time, she'll be trained enough where we would feel comfortable to leave her home and things like that. Yeah. And so he started doing the bulk of the research, and he would show me things. I think you joined like a Facebook group, and was looking at different like YouTube videos about like the dogs and breeders and things like that.
It started really with YouTube. And then I had a kind of bright idea, like, oh, let's see if there's any Corso groups on Facebook. And so I found maybe 2, try 3 ones that I wanted to look into. Just doing it that way and asking a lot of questions and reading a lot of what's already been asked. One thing I realized is that Facebook groups have a lot of information, valuable information. And then a lot of the people in the group are also very supportive. And so I had like posed a question one time and just asked the open question about what are some red flags when dealing with breeders. And a lot of people gave a lot of feedback about making sure that, you know, the breeder's not just trying to take your money. They're not just trying to say, hey, give me the down payment, I'll schedule you. They're really investing time in you and making sure that you're the right fit for their dogs.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting because I've heard of people that just are out to sell dogs. You know, when you are about to spend $2,000 to $3,000, like, and then be an investment of temperament, you want to know that your breeder knows what to expect from that dog.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the Facebook groups is how we found our breeder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was speaking to a lady who was giving him a lot of good information. Excuse me. A lot of good information about the Corso breed.
She was someone far out who was a breeder who had a litter, but recommended, I think, 4 breeders within the East Coast.
Yeah, on our side.
On our side. And so we kind of looked into them. We found a couple of websites that were just like real wonky and didn't really give us a lot of information. We weren't able to really get in contact with them. And not to say that that doesn't make them a good breeder. We just didn't get to interact with them.
Right. And I mean, I feel like that's our first impression of these breeders is your website. So if, you know, if I go to your website and it's not up to date, or, you know, you don't have anything on there, or there's grammar misspellings and things like that, that turns me off personally, because it means to me, or you aren't taking your craft, your situation serious enough to even put in the work to your website, if that makes sense.
And it kind of goes back to, like, is it just about the money?
Yeah. Right. So from there, we narrowed it down to 2 breeders that we absolutely loved. We put inquiries out with both of them. They both had applications on their site where, you know, they ask you a bunch of questions about your family lifestyle, your work situation, how often you're home, the size of your home, if you have a backyard, is it fenced in, all types of questions to kind of get to know
why you want a dog.
All of that.
Have you ever had a dog? What kind of dog did you have?
Right. How many people are in your family? What are the sex of the people in your family?
Do you have other dogs?
Yeah. Do you have other pets?
Do you have other pets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, we filled out both of those applications, sent them back, and then Moonfield hit us up, I want to say, immediately.
It was fairly quick.
It was very quick. She hit us up the next day. We started talking to her on the phone. We talked to her for like almost 3 hours on the phone, and she was just asking us a bunch of questions about our lifestyle, all to get to know how we live and the people that we live with, so she could match us up to a great dog.
We have Bryce, and
you've all met Bryce.
We all met Bryce.
It's your boy Bryce.
Say hello.
Hello.
Sit down. Get it. This is the best representation of hey.
And he's a very energetic child, and so we wanted to make sure that whatever puppy we brought in could understand
that, you know, he's hyper, he has a lot of energy, but to understand that he's still a child. So somebody he could play with, but also somebody who wasn't gonna, or not somebody, but a dog who wouldn't take all of his energy as a threat, or you know, I mean, because I think he's tried to sit on her and ride her and all types of stuff. So that's the type of things that
a little boy thinks about when they get a dog. He's tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was, you know, and it was, so that that was our safety, right? That was, let's go see how they interact, or how he interacts with them. And I think we were more so worried about how he would interact with the puppy first, and then seeing how the puppy interacts with him.
Yeah. So the next day, we wind up saying, hey, fuck it, let's drive 3 hours. Bryce, where are we going? To the pet store. What are we going to the pet store for?
For a puppy.
For a what?
For a puppy.
A puppy? Are you excited? Are you gonna play with the puppy? To see these puppies, she reached out and told us that she had two. She just had a litter in, I want to say, August, and she had 2 female brindle Cane Corsos left. So one thing that I loved about her was her responsiveness and how passionate she was about the Cane Corso, and all of the information that she gave me without even me having to ask. We're looking at the email that we first got from her, and you know, she's very detailed about, you know, pricing and everything like that, but she also gave us the background of the parents of the litter. And so she obviously raised the mother, Peach, and Peach's mother, so who is Tess. And the father for the litter was, I think, in North Carolina or something, Rummy. But she gave us all this information and background, and you know, I was able to read all of that, their temperament, how they were AKC certified, and all of this types of stuff. So yeah, we made a decision to drive the 3 hours to take a look at these 2 female brindle puppies. When we first got in contact with her, they were 11 weeks, so by the time we got there, they were 12 weeks. And so when we first pulled up, like, okay, the land that this house sat on, okay? This is like us in the future, you know, once we decide to move out of the city and, you know, move out to suburbia. This is what the type of land we would want. I mean, how many acres do you think that was?
It was like less than 10. It wasn't super huge. What it was
an acre is huge to me.
What it was really maintained. Tell the dogs were well mannered as well.
So they had like a barn when you first drive in, and then the fenced area connected to the barn. So you have to drive past that to get to the back, which is where their house sat. And then a beautiful house, a nice sized house. They had a beautiful backyard on the back of the house where the puppies played, and then they had like a garage or a little house, or
with like an extension on it.
Yeah. And that's where she did all of the breeding and stuff like that for the puppies and things. And so it was just a lovely atmosphere. She names all of the puppies when they first come out. So Bella was the first girl puppy to come out. So her name was Pink, right?
Hot Pink.
Hot Pink. Her name was Aqua.
Right.
And so when we walked in the house, I happened to look at, she had them in like this room in her house where it was just them. They had their crates in there and they were in their crates. So when you walk past, you could peep in there and see. And so the first one I noticed was Aqua, because Aqua, her face was so small and cute, and she was such a gorgeous dog. She really was. And so when we wound up going outside to meet both of the puppies, she let both of them out. And it was me, Bryson, Brian, and she brings Bella, or Hot Pink, out first. And Bella, her temperament was just everything to me. I felt like, you know, she was paying attention to her surroundings, you know, but still being very playful and loving. She would like come up to me and like, if I was kneeling down, she would come up to me and just rest on my legs, which
got her with the sweet spot.
That did it for me. I was like, yes, you're mine.
I think I know one of the things I noticed was how Bryce was like running around the yard and picking up sticks and actually playing more so with
Aqua.
the big dogs, the
Peach and Tess.
And it was like over there barking with them.
Mikey, that was the other dog.
And what I liked about Bella, or at the time Hot Pink, was that she was like scoping out her space, you know, sniffing around, checking out what's going on with me and her, checking out what's going on with Miss Moonfield. But then also like she would stop and like have the Corso stance. You know, tail straight back, nose straight up, paws in the right place, and would just be like paying attention to what Bryce was doing.
Right. Or like if a car drove by, she would like be looking and trying
right into it, observant.
Right.
And then Aqua, in my opinion, was kind of like, man, screw it, like life is life. Like,
we tried. So when we brought them both out, we had them both out together at first, and then we brought them out one at a time to see which one, you know, bonded with us better. And so we brought out Hot Pink first, Bella, and she did well. I mean, she played with Bryce, she was very attentive, she was paying attention to us and then going about her business. Like she she looked pretty. And
she was the bigger of
she
had the deeper chest.
She was bigger. She was just more solid than Aqua. Aqua was like more small and skinny.
She would probably be a longer.
Yeah.
She'd probably be more of like a skinny, long dog.
Yeah. And so when we brought Aqua out, Aqua was not paying us no mind. She wasn't listening. She wouldn't come when we told her. I mean, they were puppies, so they wouldn't know what to do with
She wasn't coming for the food.
She wasn't coming for the food. She wasn't paying attention to the cause. I mean, people could have walked up on us and she would have been like, oh, okay.
She didn't care. She didn't care at all.
And so from there, after we picked Bella and said that you know, she was the puppy that we wanted, we had to sign a contract with the breeder in order to buy her.
The biggest thing that the contract spoke of, in my opinion, was two things. One, that we would not breed. We would not use her as a breed dog. But two, if we ever got to a point where this relationship or this partnership between us and this dog did not work out, that we would return her back to Susan versus taking her to a pound or an orphanage or anything,
or giving her away to
somebody else. That we would make sure that we promised that was a part of it. And I think that also was like really something that you're taking pride in your work. Like
She cares.
You care.
Susan absolutely cared about these dogs. You know, I would do business with her again if I ever, you know, if I ever wanted another dog, if I ever wanted to recommend somebody who wanted a Cane Corso, you know, I definitely would recommend Susan because the level of care, I mean, I can still text her now. You know, ever so often she'll text me and check in on Bella, ask for pictures and things like that. She sent an email right before it was time for their rabies shot, right before Christmas. She sent you know, a Merry Christmas email. So she was very invested, stays connected. She wants you to be able to call her whenever you need something. So I really enjoyed all of that. When we drove down there, we met both of the dogs, we made a decision, we sat down, we signed the contract, we did all of that. She went over the contract and everything. We wound up leaving so we can go get a hotel, and we wanted to be able to pick up some things that we knew we would need right away.
Necessities.
Yeah, the necessities before we went back to get her. And so we wound up going to like this, what was the name of that store? No.
Tractor Supply.
Tractor Supply. And so we wound up going there. We picked up a crate because obviously we would be crate training and she would need someplace to sleep right away. So we picked up a crate. We picked up some food for her. We picked up a few toys, a slip leash initially. I got a little box for her little treats.
Got bowls, food, water bowls.
Food and water bowls. So all of those necessities, the things that we would need right away. Also, we wound up, we had a good little time, didn't we?
Crab shack. Oh my gosh. Look at all the water, bro.
Wait, that thing is in the water.
Yeah.
All the electric is going to turn off then.
Such a cutie.
You can go fishing.
After we went to Tractor Supply, we went
Mind you, this is all during COVID too, so it was like really stressful.
Yeah.
It was cold, coldish. It wasn't winter quite, but it was somewhat cold. But we did find a decent restaurant to eat that allowed outside seating.
Yeah.
And it was right on the water.
Right on the water.
So we were able to see the sunset. We ate seafood, which is always a plus for us.
It was nice.
Sir, what are you doing?
Oh, oh, shit, you right in the face.
This camera is clear.
We wound up going to get her the next day. Another thing that was so sweet about Susan is that she gave us like a little goodie bag with like our contract and all the need to know things, and she made everything easy as far as the shots that she had already administered so we could take it to the vet. She supplied us with a name to get Bella's ears cropped. And so she also gave us like some old towels on the ride, and whenever we put the crate up, we can put the towels in there, and stuff that the puppies had already been sleeping on. And then she had like this cute little red towel with Moonfield logo on it. And so what she did was she took that towel and rubbed it all over Peach, which is Bella's mother, and Tess, which is Bella's grandmother, just so when we took her, she would have that scent and wouldn't be scared in the car, and was scared, her first couple nights, so she would
Yeah.
always have that scent. I thought that was so cute and so sweet.
And that might be something that every breeder does, but I think because we haven't gone through
Yeah,
multiple breeders, those were the little things. If you're a breeder and you're not doing those things,
do those things.
do those things
If you're
because
serious.
yeah, those were the little things that made us feel
So
just a little bit
comfortable.
more comfortable.
Just so comfortable.
And I think the fact that, you know, again, she's not on as soon as we leave,
Yeah,
you know, we can still talk to her and ask questions. And you know, I remember when we first got her, Bella was just like constantly chewing on sticks and dirt. And
Yeah.
it was like, hey, is this normal?
she gonna die. Listen.
So, a lot of, like, we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, we definitely
That
appreciate you,
process.
Susan, if you ever get to see this.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the characteristics and temperament of Cane Corso.
Of course.
And all in all, this is gonna be Bella's gonna be a big body dog. She's gonna be a big dog. She's not gonna be a cute little dog that I was hoping for to stick in my purse. She's gonna be a big baby. And so when we first got her, she was what, 12 pounds? 16 pounds?
16.
16 pounds.
Yeah.
12 weeks. These dogs can grow anywhere between, I think, 110 to like 115, 120 pounds. I think they can get even bigger. Some of the boys can get bigger than that. But we're hoping that she stays around 120 pounds.
Yeah, I think it was 110, 120 is where we
For female.
suspect Bella specifically
Yeah.
to be. And at this time, I think when we took her to the vet, they said that she was growing
Every 10 pounds a month.
a month. So in 6 months, she's now 40 something pounds.
She's 45 pounds now.
In 6 months, we'll have a 100-pound dog in the house.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that everybody, even Susan, talked to us about was the type of temperament this dog is gonna have. So it is very important to get this dog trained because she's gonna be a big dog. She's gonna be 120 pounds. That's around the size that I am. And she's also going, if she's not trained properly, she will take over your house. They are very, I don't even know.
Alpha.
Yeah, alpha dogs, right? And so if you don't set yourself up as an alpha to this dog, they will try to take over and control things on their own. And we don't want that.
Yeah.
So
But at no means are we professionals, so
No.
we are trying to seek as much guidance and support that we possibly can.
Yeah. And so I think that made me a little nervous because I didn't have, I mean, like I said, I had a dog briefly, but I didn't really, I mean, I was in high school, I didn't know nothing about taking care of no dogs. So I didn't really go through the motions and grow up with this dog like Brian did. He had a dog, he grew up with his dog and, you know, seen her through, you know, the end of her life. And so I didn't get that. So I was very nervous about, you know, making sure we get her trained and making sure that she listens. Even though I always wanted a dog, you know, there's still a part of me that was always scared of dogs. Even now, if I'm honest, like, I'm not scared of her. And every day, you know, we get closer and closer. But there's just certain things that I'm never gonna put past a human or animal, including my own animal, including my own human. Like, I'm just not, you know, I'm not gonna ever forget the fact that she is an animal, she is a dog, she does have teeth, you know, and if something goes wrong, you know, she can protect herself. So I'm never gonna forget that fact, and that's always gonna be inside of me. So it was very important that we got her trained, or we get her trained properly. And so when we were talking about, we were impressed by 2 breeders and we wound up going with Susan, the other breeder that we were interested in offered excellent training and excellent boarding program for Corsos. I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah. Sharon from Ivy League.
Ivy League, yeah.
she is our trainer. She trains us to train Bella.
Yeah.
Really, she just trains us.
She trains us.
And we try to train Bella, but really it's just us getting trained.
Yeah. So the first trainings that we signed up for was just with Bella by herself and no other dogs were there. It was puppy trainings, and that was a 5-week program. And so we would go every Sunday, and she would show us maybe 2 or 3 things during training, and then our responsibility was to come back home, teach it to the boys. Sometimes he would go by himself, or I wouldn't be there, so he would teach me, and we would try to do it throughout the week with Bella, and then next Sunday we would have to show her the progress we made, and then she would teach us something else. And so that was a 5-week program. And so now Brian is we've upgraded. She's graduated from the puppy class, and now Brian is taking her to some more trainings.
The companion training.
The companion trainings, and that has how many other dogs in it?
Right now it's anywhere from 3 to 4 any given day. Now there's actually somewhat of a criteria that we're going based off of, and this is when AKC kind of comes in, and that
stands for the American Kennel Club.
Yeah. And so what Sharon is teaching us now is if we ever did want to kind of put Bella into the sports side of
so like dog shows and things like that.
Stuff like that, and get her some type of certifications and accomplishments that she's now teaching us kind of what the criteria is. Yeah. Really training her to focus on the owner.
Yeah. And even the good thing about the AKC training that she's doing with us is that even if we never want to take, we feel like, or he has said to me before that he feels like Bella could do it. Even if we weren't interested in that, the types of things that she's teaching us, it is just good to know, or good for Bella to know for training purposes.
It really is the mannerisms.
Yeah.
Of an everyday safe dog, and being able to sit in a crowded spot and not react to somebody walking up to me unless it was a threat, and being able to tell what a threat is, right?
Between what a threat is versus like a little kid walking down the street or coming up to her.
And I think the biggest part of all that, like she said, even if we didn't want to do it, it really is preventing us from some type of lawsuit, because anytime something happens with this breed or this size dog, not necessarily this breed, but a large dog, a large aggressive known dog, it's going to be that dog's fault. And so it's important for us to be able to know and kind of have that foresight of how she's going to react in certain situations, so that we can keep her safe, the other people or person or animal safe, and stay out of any type of legal issues that our dog was, just jumped and bit somebody or bit another dog.
Yeah.
If we train her now to ignore other dogs and to seek direction from us in order to encounter with other people, then we are getting to a point where we're safer, right? She knows to look at us first to make sure she can move, or to look at us first to make sure, if somebody says, hey, can I pet your dog? If I say yeah, which I probably would say no, but if I say yeah, she's gonna stay seated and stay seated and stay in place and stay calm and not, start jumping on people.
In addition to training, another thing that we've been doing is watching YouTube videos. And we found 1 or 2 YouTube channels.
Jason Corey, he has Bruce Wayne, which is the probably the cutest Corso on the internet.
Cutest? He ain't cute.
He's so
just
cute.
Fierce.
He's fierce, he's cute, he's adorable. His coat is so shiny. He's on a raw diet, and he's so well behaved.
He's
huge. But this couple, they take this dog to the gym. They've done it since the dog was a puppy. Puppy. Like, I honestly think the first video I saw was the video of him testing out Bruce Wayne's natural instincts to be protective. And
yes, I remember that.
He had his wife, and he had set up cameras in their living room, and
The wife was
the
chilling
wife
on
was
the
chilling on the
sofa.
sofa. Bruce Wayne was chilling on the sofa, like they were just watching TV like a normal day, and he had like snuck around to the outside, and like before like starting to bang or anything, you see Bruce Wayne's head like lift, like he already knows something's coming, and then he starts banging on the door, and the windows and stuff, and like the natural instinct of the dog was to be between the threat and his owner, and so every time his wife. The guy's wife would try to get in front of Bruce Wayne
or around
Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne would like stop, reassess, and then move to a position that puts him again between the threat and her. And I think when I saw that,
he
I was
wouldn't
just like,
let her move past him.
Yeah.
So socialization for these dogs is very key. Everybody warned us about it. Susan warned us, Sharon warned us, and told us the different things that we could do. But even when we were watching these videos, he kept saying how important it is. But yeah, so socializing these dogs, I think Brian took Bella to like Lowe's. We all took her to like Target and stuff, which I didn't even know you could take dogs into Target and Bed Bath and Beyond and all of that. And you know, we were able to take her in there, and then obviously when we get her in there, people want to pet her and love on her, you know, when she's soaking it all up and pissing everywhere. And
Yeah, she definitely enjoys the attention.
Yeah.
And I think that was, for us, that was one of the main things is we have family oriented, right? And so outside of our house, we're often going to be at one of our parents' houses, some of our family members' houses, and we want to make sure that, or get to the point where we have a well-mannered, trained, compatible dog that can go those places with us. Like, we don't plan on leaving our dog at home for 15 hours a day and then coming home, letting him out the cage and putting him back in the cage. Like, we want this dog to be just like our children. You know?
And we travel too, and we want to be able to take our dog with us when we travel as much as possible. Yeah. In addition to getting her socialized and taking her to stores and, you know, having family come over, and we've even taken her over to our cousin's house who has a dog so she can be introduced to their dog. It's also very important that these dogs get a lot of exercise. I mean, not a lot of exercise because, you know, they're puppies and we don't want to overstress their muscles and limbs and things, but like enough exercise. Like, it's important for us to have a yard so she can run around in. Yeah. It's important for us to take her on walks, you know, so she can, you know, stretch her limbs and, you know, get outside, and so she can know the surroundings of the neighborhood. If she ever got out, she knows her way back home, things like that.
The vet. So I haven't been to the vet yet.
I've been to the vet. So our first vet appointment, so in our contract with Susan, we had to take her to the vet, her first appointment to the vet within a week's time of us buying her or getting her. Yeah. And so we were able to, she gave us a doctor that does ear cropping that was like maybe an hour away from our house, and we just so happened to say, okay, well, since we're gonna get her ears cropped, let's just lump the vet appointment in all at once. Yeah. And I fell in love with that vet center, and we've been going an hour away ever since.
We probably will continue to.
We probably will continue to, because it really is nice and clean, and they are so involved, and you know, they send you email remind. I mean, they're just so good. I mean, better than some of my doctors that I have. Now we did find emergency veterinarians for emergency situations that are closer, but we figured because she'll probably go at this point go to the vet once a year, you know, we can continue to take her there. But we took her to the vet, and she got her ear crops the first time, and the ear crop situation was just, how would you describe it?
I wouldn't do it again.
So we decided to get our ears cropped because it looks nice, and because
it's the look of the breed,
and because you know, this dog is prone to ear infections if you don't. You know, it's very emotional.
Especially having the dog with the cone.
Yeah, it was
knocking into stuff and trying, can't even eat their own food.
Trying to
and
scratch at it, and then looking at how you can imagine. Yeah, it looked painful. You can imagine when you get a scar or need to get, some sort of surgery done, how it looks after the fact, and that's what it looked like on a small puppy.
Yeah, and I think that there's some breeds. There's always going to be that argument. Let me say that about whether you should do it or don't. Some people, some breeders do it and say, they're ours to do it with right now. And if you don't want a dog with cropped ears, then don't buy a dog with cropped ears.
So, like he said, I don't think I would want or we would want to go through the process again. But if we did want to get another dog, we would buy her with her ears already cropped.
Right.
Because the thought of going through that, and then you have to put medicine on it, you have to give them, the first day she got home, she was sluggish, because you could have just imagined all of the different chemicals and medicines they had to get her to sedate her. And just how miserable she seemed after the fact. I think she had to have the cone on for like almost 2 weeks or a week and a half.
Yeah, 9 days or something.
And
like that,
and then after the fact, you have to take care of it to make sure it's healing right. And then just the process, we had to wind up taking her stitches out on our own. We could take her to do it, but he said it's going to take all of 2 minutes to do. So we had to cut and take the stitches out. We wound up taking the bandages off. And all in all, she's gorgeous. She was gorgeous with the ears, but she's gorgeous with the ear crop. I just think the process of it all was just, I don't know if I could do it again.
It was just seeing, it's like, even when with a kid, you don't want to see your child walk around with a bandage on their head or something.
Yeah. That was our process. That was the reason why we decided to get a Cane Corso, that specific breed. And so, if you're interested in hearing more details, just let us know. We don't mind doing that. More details about training, more details about any of it. We don't mind sitting down and talking about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bella has been such a blessing in our life in more ways than one, in more ways than I think all of us even realize. She's just so attentive. Like, she wants to be pet, she wants to be loved. She doesn't let one of us walk out of the room without her knowing where we are. Like, we're all chilling in here. If she was in here with us right now and I walked out, she would follow me out of the room to see where I was going.
To see the progress and really think that there's a day that, we could potentially be, walking down the street and have a well-mannered,
off the leash, if we wanted.
Yeah, having just dog, having that dog, that breed.
Let us know what you think about this video. If you like more videos like this with us kind of talking through our life and the things that we do. But yeah, that's it. That's all. We're done. Where's Bella?
Bella, here.
Where's Bella?
Good. Thank you.
Hi.
Say bye-bye.
Look how big she is now.
The thing, and you'll see a picture before and after. Like, this dog is 40-something pounds right now.
And she's spoiled as hell.
Yeah, she loves. All right, baby girl.
Hello. You are not being a good example of the training we were just talking about. Come right down here.
Here, let's go.
Get off the camera. Check what your mama gave you.
The camera's still on.